Welcome to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and this is number 7 in our oil-free vegan salad dressing series. And today's dressing, honey mustard.
It's the all-free whole food plant-based cooking show.
Okay, so today, instead of making a salad, we are going to make some breaded baked tofu squares to go with our dipping sauce, because that's one thing that my kids really like to eat. So I have a container of tofu. This is extra firm tofu. You can use extra firm. I wouldn't suggest using anything less than that because you really want it to stay together in little squares. So I've already pressed out the liquid, and now I'm just going to cut it. So I'm going to stand it up on edge and cut that in half, because we're wanting to make some uniform squares. Then I'm going to cut this into 4 slices, and then I'm going to come from the other direction, and I think I'm going to cut that into 5, so we get, you know, roughly squares. They don't have to be perfect. That looks pretty good. Okay, and now we're going to make the batter that's going to go onto it. So what I have here is I've got 3/4 cup of chickpea flour, 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, 1/4 cup of arrowroot powder, and the complete recipe is going to be in a link in the details below if you missed any of these ingredients. And we're going to have a teaspoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of Bragg's liquid amino acids, but you could use tamari sauce or low sodium soy sauce. And then I have just a cupful of water here, and really you're just going for like a pancake consistency. So we're gonna stir this up a little bit before we get the water in there. Okay, and now we're going to start mixing the water in. And you'll never know how much water it's going to take. It might take, you know, 3/4 of that cup, or it might take the whole cup, but chickpea flour, as it sits, it thickens. So you might want to just keep it on hand, because if you start dipping these in here and it starts getting too thick, you can just add a little bit of water and mix it again, and it'll be just fine. So I'm going to add just a little bit more here. So I've used probably about 1/2 cup of water so far. And you could use a whisk if you want to, you know, get it really nice and, you know, no little lumps in there, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, there we go. Put that aside. Okay, and then I have 1.5 cups of almond meal here. You can use almond meal, almond flour, it's about the same thing. So this batter is what's going to make the almond flour stick. And the almond flour, when it bakes, it gets really nice and golden color. So I'm just going to add some cracked pepper to it, just because I like pepper on my stuff. Okay. All right, let's move this out of the way a little bit. Get these guys out of the way. And I already have my oven preheated to 400 degrees. And I've got a pan here lined with parchment paper. You really want to line your cookie sheet with parchment paper, or if you have one of those Silpat sheets, those are great too. Because we're not using oil. We're not going to fry it, we're going to bake it. And the parchment paper is going to keep it from sticking to the pan. So this is a little bit messy, but they are so worth it. So you're just going to dip it in there, and then you're going to roll that around in your almond meal, and then put it on the parchment paper. So once you get all of these done, you can pop that into the oven, and then we'll get on to the salad dressing. While we're waiting for that, I would like to share with you some of the exciting things we offer here on the show. Our official website, plantbasedcookingshow.com, offers hundreds of our original free step-by-step video recipes, as well as tips and resources for everyday plant-based living. For more in-depth learning, we created the 28 Days Plant-Based Made Easy course, which will teach you everything you need to know to successfully transition to a plant-based diet in 28 days. The course includes weekly meal plans and shopping guides, 65 tasty video recipes, and daily learning materials from our most trusted plant-based resources. All of our classes offer lifetime access, so you can take your time and work through them at your own pace and revisit them as much as you like. Our Plant-Based Made Easy community offers our basic free membership that is free for life and is great for staying in the loop, and our Legends membership for $15 a month that offers instant access to all of our digital products, including our 28-day course and holiday feast cooking class, our growing line of printable cookbooks, wholesale discounts on our branded apparel, and named credit in the show. Okay, let's get back to the show. So, honey mustard dressing. That was what you guys voted on for our next dressing. And I went out and got one at the grocery store. This is, a healthy version of a honey mustard dressing. And I thought I'd share with you the ingredients that are on here. So the first ingredient is canola oil. So this is mostly oil because ingredients are listed according to their quantity, right? Or maybe it's by weight, but that means this is mostly oil. Then it's water, Dijon mustard. There's a whole list of things that are in the Dijon mustard. Mustard flour, mustard flavoring, honey, sugar, white vinegar, onion powder, salt, starch, turmeric. So that's not terribly bad, but the problem is that oil as the first ingredient. So we are going to make this without any oil. So it's going to be super healthy for you. We're going to start with 1/3 of a cup of oats, because that's going to make it nice and thick without a whole ton of added fat. Then we've got our Dijon mustard here, and this is 4 tablespoons. And then I have 8 medjool dates. And this is what we're using in place of the sugar. We're not going to use any kind of refined sugar. This is a whole food sweetener. And then 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds. And I'll let you know here about why we use hemp seeds in a lot of our dressings. Hemp seeds are derived from industrial hemp, with the hulled seeds containing 0 THC, so it's perfectly safe for all ages. The seeds contain 33% protein by weight and offer all 20 amino acids, including the 9 essential amino acids that can only be derived from food. Hemp protein is easily digestible, making it an excellent replacement for nuts for those who have nut sensitivity. So it's 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds. And these are the hemp hearts. They still call them hemp seeds, but it's actually the hemp heart. There's no hull on these. They've already been hulled. Okay. And then we've got let's see, what have I got here? 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Let's see, what do I have here? Oh, that's not in there. And then I have white wine vinegar. And it takes 1/3 of a cup of white wine vinegar. And this is just the vinegar I like to use. I really like the flavor of this vinegar the best. A lot of people use apple cider vinegar, but for a lot of these dressings, I just don't like the flavor that much of the apple cider vinegar. So that's why I use the white wine vinegar. And then I have 1/2 of a cup of water. Okay, now we're just going to blend this up until it's really smooth and creamy. Okay guys, there we go. It's super thick. So let's go over here and do our blindfolded taste test with my daughter Soji. Okay, so this is my daughter Soji. She's gonna do our taste test for us. And here are our dressings. So number one, I'm gonna dip it for you. I'll put it in your hand. All right. What do you think? No?
Blech.
You don't like that one?
It's really salty and really acidic.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's try number two. There you go.
It's a big piece.
What do you think?
It's creamy. And it's tart, but it's sweet. But it's not too overpowering.
So what's your vote, number one or number two?
Number two.
Yay! So that was a successful taste test. So be sure to like and comment below if there's a salad dressing that we haven't hit yet, and so that we can get it made for you. But right now, it's time to eat. Whoop. Super delicious. You're gonna love it, and I'll see you next time.